deserve to have that proven to me through what? A DNA test. If Junior is not my son, the DNA test will prove that. Right or wrong? Right. Any father on here, any real man, stand-up man that potentially has the privilege of being a father would want to make things right.
The first thing Blueface allegedly said on that call from behind prison walls wasn't about freedom, music, or even his own case. It was a sentence so explosive that the person on the other end reportedly went completely silent. According to sources who claim to have heard the leaked audio, Blueface allegedly said, "That baby ain't mine." And the truth about when she started cheating is about to come out. Now pause for a second and really think about what that means. Because if that statement is even partially true, then the entire internet narrative about Chrisean Rock, their relationship, and the child the world has been watching grow up online might not be the story people thought it was. Was there really another man involved while Blueface was locked behind bars? Did a phone call from prison just expose a secret that both sides allegedly tried to keep buried? And why are people online claiming that the timing of this alleged affair lines up almost perfectly with the months Blueface disappeared from the outside world and into a cell where he had no way to see what was really happening around him? But here is where it gets even more disturbing. Because according to insiders close to the situation, that leaked call wasn't just a random emotional outburst from someone sitting in prison. Sources claim Blueface allegedly laid out a timeline during that conversation. A timeline that supposedly points to a completely different father for the baby the world has been calling Chrisean Jr.
You can just tell.
If Blueface is telling the truth, why is this information suddenly coming out now? And if he's wrong, then why are so many people suddenly scrambling to control the story before more recordings allegedly surface? Because the deeper you look into the situation, the stranger the timeline becomes. And the next detail that allegedly surfaced from that prison call might change everything people think they know about Blueface, Chrisean Rock, and a child at the center of one of the internet's most chaotic celebrity relationships. And trust me, what reportedly comes out of that leaked conversation next is the part that nobody saw coming.
I seen what happened when I first got out, chat. That's how we found out. You think Ronnie would be chasing her all around fucking Baltimore if that wasn't his baby? Make it make sense.
The tension surrounding Blueface and Chrisean Rock did not begin with that leaked prison call. Long before anyone started questioning paternity online, their relationship had already built a reputation for chaos, public fights, and emotional live streams that millions of viewers watched unfold in real time. Their story became internet entertainment, but according to insiders close to the situation, what was happening behind the scenes was far more complicated than what fans were seeing on their screens. Blueface, whose real name is reportedly Jonathan Porter, had already established himself as a controversial figure in hip-hop long before his relationship with Chrisean Rock began dominating headlines. His breakout single Thoshiana reportedly generated hundreds of millions of streams and pushed him into mainstream recognition almost overnight. But according to people who followed his career closely, his personal life quickly became just as viral as his music. Chrisean Rock entered the public spotlight through Blueface reality show auditions, where multiple contestants allegedly competed for his attention. Viewers remember the moment she reportedly stood out for her aggressive personality and willingness to fight for a spot in his circle. Sources close to production claim that from the beginning, producers realized their interactions were unpredictable television. But here is where it gets interesting. Because while the public saw chaotic arguments and viral social media moments, insiders claimed the relationship behind the cameras was even more volatile. According to reports circulating across entertainment blogs, the two allegedly went through multiple breakups, reconciliations, and emotional confrontations long before pregnancy rumors ever enter the conversation. And this is the part that nobody is talking about. The pregnancy announcement itself did not immediately spark controversy. When Chrisean Rock revealed she was expecting a baby, millions of fans assumed Blueface would naturally be the father because of their very public relationship timeline. The internet treated it like another dramatic chapter in their ongoing saga rather than a mystery that would eventually explode months later. However, according to people who claim to have followed the timeline closely, Blueface allegedly showed uncertainty about the situation even before the baby was born. Some social media posts from that period reportedly hinted that he was questioning the circumstances privately while still appearing publicly supportive. But here is where the timeline becomes difficult to ignore. Because around the same period that the pregnancy news was circulating online, Blueface was also dealing with legal issues that eventually resulted in him spending time behind bars. Reports from court filings and media coverage confirmed that his legal troubles escalated quickly, placing him in a position where he could no longer control the narrative around his personal life. And that sudden absence changed everything. While Blueface was reportedly dealing with legal restrictions and incarceration, Chrisean Rock continued posting updates about her pregnancy online. Millions of followers watched as she documented the journey, sharing emotional moments and preparing for the birth of her child while the father figure people assumed would be present was physically removed from the situation. But here is the twist. Some internet commentators began pointing out something unusual about the timing of certain posts and appearances. According to speculation that started spreading across gossip forums, there were whispers that Chrisean Rock had allegedly been spending time with other people during the months Blueface was locked away. At first, those rumors were dismissed as typical internet gossip. Celebrity relationships often attract speculation, and many fans believed people were simply trying to create drama around an already chaotic couple. But according to insiders who claim to have been observing the situation closely, the rumors refused to disappear. And stay right here because it gets worse. The birth of the child, widely referred to online as Chrisean Jr., should have been the moment that quieted all speculation. Instead, it triggered an entirely new wave of debate across social media platforms. Some fans celebrated the arrival of the baby, while others began questioning why Blueface appeared distant in some of his comments and livestream reactions. Sources claim that privately, Blueface allegedly expressed doubts about the timeline even before the prison call that is now circulating online. According to people who say they were close to conversations happening behind the scenes, he reportedly asked questions about dates, travel schedules, and interactions that had taken place during the months leading up to the pregnancy. But here is what they allegedly did not want you to find out. According to entertainment bloggers who began digging into the timeline, there were reportedly moments where Chrisean Rock was seen around other artists and acquaintances during the same period when Blueface's legal situation was intensifying. While none of those appearances proved anything directly, speculation about possible connections began circulating online. And speculation spreads quickly when millions of viewers are watching. The situation became even more complicated when clips from live streams and interviews began resurfacing. Some fans pointed to moments where Blueface reportedly joked about DNA tests or hinted that the situation might not be as simple as the internet believed. At the time, many people thought those comments were just part of the couple's usual chaotic banter. But now, with a leaked prison call allegedly entering the conversation, those old clips are being replayed across social media with a completely different interpretation. Fans are asking whether Blueface had been hinting at something serious long before the public realized there might be a deeper issue. And now here is the twist. According to sources who claim to have heard the call that recently began circulating in private circles, Blueface allegedly laid out a specific timeline during a prison conversation with someone he trusted. In that conversation, he reportedly claimed that Chrisean Rock began an alleged relationship with another man during the exact months he was locked away. If that claim were proven true, it would completely change how people understand the entire situation. But the call itself raises another question. Because if Blueface truly believed this information months earlier, why did the allegation only become public now? Why did the conversation leak at this exact moment when the internet's attention had already returned to the couple's ongoing drama? According to insiders who claim to have knowledge of the situation, the answer might lie in who recorded the call in the first place. Because prison phone systems are rarely private. Every call is typically monitored, logged, and in some cases recorded automatically. That means any conversation taking place between an inmate and someone on the outside can potentially be saved, shared, or leaked depending on who has access to the recordings. And this is where the story starts to feel less like random drama and more like something coordinated. Some observers believe the alleged call may have been intentionally shared by someone close to the situation who wanted the public to hear Blueface's version of events. Others speculate that the leak may have been accidental, possibly passed between multiple people before reaching gossip accounts online. But here is the detail that has fans arguing the most. According to individuals claiming to have heard the conversation, Blueface allegedly made a statement that immediately changed the tone of the call. Sources say he reportedly told the person on the line that the baby people believe is his might actually belong to someone else entirely. The room reportedly went quiet after that. And according to people discussing the audio, the next part of the conversation is where the timeline allegedly becomes even more complicated. Because Blueface reportedly began describing when he believed the alleged affair started and who he suspected might be involved. But here is where the story takes a darker turn. Because if the allegations in that call are accurate, then someone else might have known about the situation long before the internet began questioning it publicly. And the next piece of information that insiders claim surfaced from that prison conversation is exactly the detail that turns this entire situation from messy celebrity gossip into something that feels like a calculated exposure waiting to happen. And the next piece of information that insiders claim surfaced from that prison conversation is exactly the detail that turns this entire situation from messy celebrity gossip into something that feels like a calculated exposure waiting to happen. According to sources who say they were briefed on what was said during that call, Blueface allegedly did not sound surprised when the topic of the baby came up. In fact, people familiar with the conversation claim he reportedly spoke about the situation as if he had already been investigating the timeline for months. That detail alone is what has fans asking whether the public drama is only the surface of something much bigger happening behind the scenes. But here is where it gets interesting. Because during that same conversation, Blueface allegedly began referencing specific months and events that took place while he was incarcerated. According to people who claim to have heard portions of the call, he reportedly told the person on the line that the relationship between Chrisean Rock and another individual allegedly began while he was unable to communicate freely with the outside world. Sources claim he allegedly said something along the lines of, "I was locked up while all that was happening. People think I didn't notice, but the timeline tells a different story." And this is the part that nobody is talking about. Because if those claims are accurate, then the real issue might not just be about paternity. The bigger question becomes how many people allegedly knew about the situation before the internet started questioning it publicly. According to gossip bloggers who began reviewing social media posts from that period, there are reportedly several moments where Chrisean Rock was seen around different circles while Blueface was dealing with legal issues. None of those appearances prove anything directly. But in the world of celebrity drama, even small details can ignite massive speculation. Entertainment commentators began pointing out that the months leading up to the pregnancy announcement included travel, studio sessions, and public appearances that some fans believe deserve a closer look. Stay right here because it gets worse. Because according to individuals claiming to have heard more of the prison call, Blueface allegedly did not just question the timeline. He reportedly named a specific person he believes might be connected to the situation. Sources close to the discussion say he allegedly told the person on the phone that he suspects Chrisean Rock's new man may have been involved long before the public even knew about that relationship. Now here is the twist. The identity of that alleged new boyfriend has been circulating online for weeks. Reports across entertainment outlets claim that Chrisean Rock has recently been seen with a younger rapper who fans quickly began identifying as someone close to her new circle. Some social media users believe that relationship developed after Blueface went to jail. But others are now asking whether the connection started much earlier. And here is what they allegedly did not want you to find out. Because according to speculation spreading across internet forums, some observers believe there were subtle hints months earlier that Chrisean Rock may have been moving in new social circles while Blueface's legal situation escalated. Old photos, live stream appearances, and backstage moments are now being re-examined by fans searching for clues. Of course, none of those posts confirm the allegations. But the prison call reportedly changed how people interpret those moments. Sources claim that during the conversation, Blueface allegedly insisted that once the timeline is examined carefully, it allegedly reveals overlapping dates that could explain why he began questioning the paternity of the child. And that statement reportedly shocked the person on the other end of the call. Because until that moment, the internet narrative had been relatively simple. Most fans believed the baby belonged to Blueface because of the public relationship he shared with Chrisean Rock. The possibility that another man could allegedly be involved was something few people considered seriously. But here is where the situation becomes even more confusing. According to insiders who claim to be familiar with the call, Blueface allegedly mentioned the possibility of a DNA test during the conversation. Sources say he reportedly told the person he was speaking with that if the situation continues escalating publicly, the only way to end the speculation would be through a verified paternity test. And that statement alone has created a massive debate online. Some fans believe a DNA test would instantly settle the controversy and end months of speculation. Others argue that the internet drama might continue regardless of the results because of how public the relationship between Blueface and Chrisean Rock has been. But here is the detail that changes everything. According to people discussing the call, Blueface allegedly claimed that the leaked audio is only a small portion of what he supposedly knows about the timeline. Sources say he reportedly hinted that there are additional conversations, messages, or witnesses who allegedly know more about what happened during the months he was incarcerated. If that claim is true, the situation could escalate very quickly. Because in today's internet culture, information rarely stays private once rumors begin circulating. Gossip pages, livestream commentators, and entertainment bloggers have already started debating what other evidence might exist and whether more recordings could eventually surface. And that brings us to the most controversial part of the entire situation. Because some insiders believe the prison call may not have leaked randomly at all. According to speculation circulating among entertainment commentators, the timing of the leak may have been deliberate. Some observers think someone close to the situation may have wanted the public to hear Blueface's side of the story before additional details emerge. In other words, the leak might have been the opening move in a much larger public confrontation. And this is the part that makes the entire situation feel less like celebrity gossip and more like a strategic narrative battle playing out in front of millions of viewers. Because if Blueface truly believes the baby is not his, then revealing that claim publicly would dramatically shift public sympathy. Instead of being viewed as the controversial rapper who constantly argues online, he could reposition himself as someone who allegedly discovered a betrayal while he was already dealing with prison time. But here is where it gets even more complicated. Because Chrisean Rock has not publicly confirmed any of the allegations circulating about the prison call. While she has addressed relationship drama with Blueface in the past, the specific claims about paternity and a supposed new boyfriend being involved earlier in the timeline remain unverified. That silence has only intensified speculation. Some fans believe she is ignoring the rumors because they are not worth responding to. Others believe she may be waiting for the right moment to address the situation publicly. And a few commentators believe the silence could indicate that legal discussions about paternity might already be happening behind the scenes. But now here is the twist that reframes everything people thought they understood about the situation. Because according to individuals who claim to have knowledge of the extended prison conversation, Blueface allegedly made one more statement before the call ended. A statement that reportedly changed the entire tone of the discussion and left the person on the other end of the line stunned into silence. Because according to individuals who claim to have knowledge of the extended prison conversation, Blueface allegedly made one more statement before the call ended. A statement that reportedly changed the entire tone of the discussion and left the person on the other end of the line stunned into silence. Sources who say they heard the audio claim Blueface allegedly said something that sounded less like speculation and more like a warning. According to those accounts, he reportedly told the person on the phone that once certain information becomes public, people are going to realize the story they believed about the relationship might have been incomplete from the start. That sentence alone is what sent gossip pages into a frenzy. But here is where it gets interesting. Because the alleged warning was not just about the baby. According to insiders discussing the call, Blueface reportedly suggested that the timeline of events surrounding the pregnancy might eventually expose more than just a paternity question. Sources claim he hinted that certain people around the situation already know what actually happened, but have allegedly chosen to stay quiet while the public argues online. And this is the part that nobody is talking about. If those claims are accurate, then the controversy might not just involve Blueface and Chrisean Rock. According to speculation spreading across entertainment blogs, there may have been multiple individuals aware of the timeline months before the internet started debating it. Some observers believe the silence around those details could be intentional. Because once something like this becomes public, there is no way to control how the story spreads. Stay right here because it gets worse. According to people who claim to have heard the final portion of the prison conversation, Blueface allegedly said he had already begun documenting the timeline of events before the call even happened. Sources say he reportedly mentioned collecting dates, screenshots, and statements from people who were around during the months leading up to the pregnancy announcement. If that claim is true, it could explain why he sounded confident while discussing the situation. Because documenting a timeline suggests he believes there is evidence supporting his suspicion. And once a narrative like that begins circulating online, it can move incredibly fast through social media communities that thrive on analyzing celebrity drama.